Are you a Jesus-loving woman who overexercises and deprives herself of food, desperately trying to obtain a goal weight on the scale? And yet, at the same time, you strive to be a healthy version of yourself by eating well and feeling fit? Hi, I'm Andrea, and I was running on the same hamster wheel for over 20 years. My toxic body image and eating disorder stole my joy and self-respect. Thankfully, God was always with me, fighting my battles and blessing me with the grit to reclaim my life. I'm off the hamster wheel, but I see you still stuck in the cage, and I want to help free you too. Journey with me every week. I'll share personal stories, tools, mindset shifts, and the practical steps I took to heal my unhealthy relationship with food and exercise. I don't believe food and exercise are the problems. I believe they're part of the solution. Instead, I'll teach you how your mindset and faith are the keys to healing. Get ready to navigate your newfound path to healing. Get ready to reclaim your self-worth. Get ready to realign with your God-given identity. For in this identity is where you find true wellness and healing. When you are well, your gifts shine into the world. Shine on, babe. Let's do this. I'm Andrea Carroll, and this is Good Vanilla. Hey, pretty peeps. I'm quickly popping in here before we get rolling to communicate that I am not giving medical advice. I'm giving energetic, emotional, and mental support for women on their health journeys. I'm here because I care. I hope sharing my story will in some way help you on your unique path. Okay, let's dive in. Hey there, friend. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. Last week, we discussed certain personality traits and the specific ones that can, not necessarily always, but can make you susceptible to developing an eating disorder. And I also shared that how these same traits that can lead you to developing an eating disorder can also be the same personality traits that you can use to heal. And this episode today that I am sharing with you it's kind of funny because I thought of this before I actually read that fact. This episode, it was really on my heart to talk to you about how to channel those personality traits and use them for good. Because that is personally what I am learning to do in my healing. And and when I was working on getting these episodes ready, it just so happened that I crossed that article explaining how these traits that get you into trouble can get you out of trouble. And I think it's pretty inspiring and hopeful because I already lived it before I read it, so I know how true it is. And the thing is, you'll see evidence of this in everywhere in your life. So I'm going to share a quick story with you to kind of detail how these personality traits can show up in other ways, because I'm always going to keep telling you, go back to the awareness. It's always about having that awareness over your thoughts and your behaviors, because all of this stems from it. But the question I'm really going to ask before I dive into the story, the question I really want to ask you today is, what if you could channel, and I'm going to focus on perfectionism and an obsession, like those obsessive tendencies. What if you could channel your perfectionistic and obsessive tendencies into creating an environment to support your healing? That is what we need to focus on, is how do you do that? First, obviously, you have to pinpoint what personality traits of your own are really leading you to struggle with your relationship with food in your body. But once you identify that, then you have to get creative and start looking more. And one way to find clues as to how or which personality traits are kind of wreaking havoc on yourself, you will find clues in other things going on in your life that have nothing to do with like body image and food and exercise. For example, I struggle really bad with sinus infections. I seem to get them once or twice a year, and currently this season I'm on my third round of antibiotics for a sinus infection. I think I'm finally going to kick this one now. But when I was in the walk-in clinic, I just kind of, when I was on my second round of antibiotics, I kind of threw my hands up in the air, and I was just kind of, asking the doctor, what can I do? I do the sinus rinses. I do the nose spray. I take the decongestants that I get from the pharmacy, like the heavy duty decongestants. What can I do? And she just looked at me point blank and she said, nothing. She told me that the structure of my nasal cavities were simply too narrow to allow proper drainage. So it just sets me up for being more susceptible to developing sinus infections. Doesn't take much and I'm all blocked up and now I got an infection. And you have to understand to the lengths and how much thought I put into what can I do? So once again, you could just see me sitting there going, tell me, I'll do it. I've tried so many things to avoid these sinus infections, to keep me from getting them, and I still keep getting them. What am I doing wrong? And then I'm told nothing. Well, I was being obsessive, right? I was obsessing over what to do, and every time I would do it, I would do it just right. And then she told me that there was nothing I could do, that I was doing everything in my power. And that is just my type 1 nature. But I was relieved to hear that I gave it everything I had and it was simply out of my hands. But it shows that my tendency to seek perfection and obsess until I obtain my desired results, that part of me, it's not going anywhere. That is me. So that's a prime example of pinpointing those personality traits in your life. But here's what I can do and what you can do. We have to shift those traits in a positive way. So, rather than obsessing about your body and about exercise and about food, you have to catch yourself in the act. And you have to shift your focus, and you need to obsess over healing. You need to obsess about healing. Exhaust your options for doing good. We have to diversify. We have to diverge off from the old ways because that's not working. That's not serving us anymore. And we have to try starting to do something new. And take the energy you were using to control food in your body and use that same energy to set yourself free. You need to be relentless in your efforts for your freedom. You cannot give up. So identify what I need you to do is identify those personality traits that you feel are really holding you back, that are really causing the most problems for you in your life. And you have to get creative. You have to look and see, how can I use these in a different way? How can I shift this? How can I shift my obsession from obsessing over this negative, obsess over healing? Dive into that. And it sounds so simple. I know it's easier said than done, but you have to start trying to do it. the more momentum you get in it, the easier it becomes. But this is really the first step in kind of shifting those personality traits. Because once again, remember, you are born with these traits. And once you find out what those are, by looking for clues in your life and where they show up in other behaviors in your life and other situations in which they just kind of, naturally seep out of you. Once you can pinpoint those, then you know that's the trait, and how can you use that for good? Because you can, because you are good. You are good. But once you, I always like Maya Angelou's know better, do better. So now that once you know these things, let's do better. Once we know that these personality traits are doing this to us, let's use them for better. But that is what I wanted to share with you today on how to channel those traits for good. There's ways to do this. But go ahead, friend, and tackle that. Get out your journal and start making notes and make progress in your healing. You can start this today. Good luck. I'm rooting for you, and you have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon. Psst. Hey, girl, I got to tell you something. Did you know your eating disorder is keeping secrets from you? Yeah, it's a total butthead. But don't worry, I'm here for you. In fact, created a freebie for you to download. It's the 4 secrets your eating disorder doesn't want you to know. And these are 4 things that I wish I would have known years ago, back when I felt like I just could not get my head above the water. No matter how hard I tried, I felt like wave after wave was crashing on me. These are the secrets that have really set me free, knowing these truths about myself. And they are things your eating disorder is trying to keep from you so it can keep control over you. Don't stay in the dark, friend. The link is in the show notes. Go download it now. Hey there, beautiful. Do you feel like every step forward in your healing journey, you are met with setback after setback? It's like it doesn't matter how much effort you put into feeling better about your body, feeling better about your relationship with food. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you are trying to heal in your life, do you feel like the work you are putting in is constantly being erased by a trigger? Well, I hear you. I'm seeing all the comments online about people trying to heal their relationship with their body and with food, and it seems like triggers are something that are relentless in your life. They will not give up their grip on you. Here's the thing. Triggers are not going away, but there's something you can do about it. You have the tools, you have the capability within you to fight back. And to help you do this, I created a little workbook, a free download for you to get right now and start working on fighting back against your triggers. It's my 3-step process to tame your triggers. I walk you through, there are journal prompts in the workbook that walks you through exactly what you need to do to set up your own plan so that you are prepared the next time a trigger strikes. Friend, take back your life. Take back the control. Don't let triggers have control over you. The link for the download is in the show notes. Go download it now and take the first step to defending your life and defending your well-being. You got this, friend. Hey there, lovely souls. It means the world to me that you took time out of your busy schedule to come and hang out with me today. But here's the thing. You made time for yourself also. You put your self-worth and your mental wellness first by listening. Did you know that you can help me spread my message to others that so desperately need it? Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Rate and review my show. And hey, I want to hang out with you more. Come over on Instagram, follow me at Andrea_Caro, and send me a message. Tell me how you're doing. I want to get to know you. I can't wait to hear from you. And until then, shine on, babes.